Shuffle Along, the Harlem Renaissance musical sensation. Shuffle Along is considered by many to be the start of the Harlem Renaissance. It was a wildly successful musical with a fascinating cast of characters at its center. Shuffle Along was written by Flournoy Miller and Aubrey Lyles, and the music was written by Noble Sissle and Eubie Blake. The show's main lead, Lottie Gee, became famous at 35 years old. Until then, she had worked tirelessly in vaudeville shows, which sometimes mocked Black Americans. In Shuffle Along, Gee was finally thrust into stardom due to her skillful dancing and singing. Paul Robeson, Josephine Baker, Nat King Cole, and Florence Mills all got their start in Shuffle Along and went on to become incredibly famous. So, how famous was Shuffle Along? According to the New York Times, in order to deal with the crush of patrons, the city had to alter the traffic pattern around the theater, turning a stretch of 63rd into a one-way street. It was a supernova. It may just be the reason why chorus lines have jazz dancers. The chorus featured an improvisational style of dancing that encouraged individual expression and inspired numerous other chorus lines along the way. After Shuffle Along, Black American dance became an important aspect of American theater. Shuffle Along broke the mold in many ways. It was the first show to be written, produced, and performed by Black writers, musicians, actors, and dancers. The writing was innovative, and the dancing and music were electrifying. At the time, Black performers were relegated to vaudeville shows or not allowed on stage at all. Journalists wondered, will white audiences pay to see Black performers on stage? The answer, resoundingly, was yes. Shuffle Along was also the first show to feature Black performers falling in love on stage. At the time, it was okay for them to be silly and joking, but romance? That outpouring of emotion from Black performers was unheard of. Previously, it was thought that white audiences would be uncomfortable viewing Black lovers. Shuffle Along proved otherwise. Roger Matthews, the tenor, and Lottie Gee, the prima donna, chronicle their love in the song Love Will Find a Way. Gee goes on to express her feelings further in the song I'm Just Wild About Harry, a foot tapping crowd pleaser. President Harry Truman even went on to use it for his campaign. The show also helped to desegregate the theater. Black audience members had long been forced to sit upstairs in the balcony, while white audience members enjoyed closer seats. Shuffle Along audience members sat integrated, together, for one of the first times in history. The show ran for 504 performances at the Court Theater and at the 63rd Street Theater. It wasn't an easy space to work in. For one thing, the show required an orchestra. There wasn't space for an orchestra at the 63rd Street Theater. But, as they say in show business, the show must go on. The first 3 rows in the audience were ripped out to make space for the orchestra. People in the show joked that Shuffle Along should be renamed Scuffle Along due to their perseverance and improvisational skill in the face of challenge. Eventually, things took a downturn for Shuffle Along. With success and fame often comes strife and struggle. The music was beloved and making tons of money from sales of sheet music and records, but the book did not make any money. The writers felt that the money should be split down the middle, while the music producers felt otherwise. They had a falling out and the show ended. The show's lead female, Lottie Gee, may have stolen the show, but privately she suffered from bouts of depression. Many wonder what would have happened had the writers and musicians stuck together. Still, so much good came out of Shuffle Along. It inspired generations of artists, musicians, and writers. Numerous Black musicals followed in its footsteps, showcasing comedians, choruses, and new dance forms. Shuffle Along changed the face of theater as it broke down barriers and improved race relations. This musical made waves.